This is how you sync Reveal.js slides created in Obsidian with OBS. Let's get started. You'll need to download Open Broadcast Studio from obsproject.com and download Obsidian from obsidian.md. We'll also need the Obsidian plugin, which I'll show you how to install a community plugin. And you'll also need the Slides Studio, which is a web page I've created and is hosted on GitHub. To run it locally, we can download the code by clicking on the code button and then choosing download zip. Now let's get set up. We'll go into Obsidian and choose create a new vault. We'll give it a name called Slides Demo. Then tell Obsidian where to store it. I have a folder called Obsidian, and we'll choose that. Then we'll create the vault. Now let's configure the vault by going to settings. We'll want to be able to show all types of files, not just markdown notes. We'll enable that setting. We'll also install a community plugin by going to the community plugins tab, turn on community plugins, then we'll browse for the slides plugin and choose slides extended. This is the actively developed Reveal.js plugin. Click install and enable, and that is all the configuring we'll need to do. If we click on the slides extended icon, a new window will open that renders the markdown into a Reveal.js slide. We can add more slides by entering 3 dashes, then entering text, and that will add additional slides. Okay, so now we have 3 slides to work with, and we can navigate them using the mouse or the keyboard. Now that we have our markdown rendering, we'll want to export it as HTML. So click the 3 dots in the upper right of the preview and choose export as HTML. You don't need to see it right now. We can see a new folder has been added, export welcome, which is the name of the note, and then all of the files to display it as a web page. Let's add Slides Studio to the files of the vault. Right click on the default note and choose Reveal in Finder. Let's open this up. In the downloads, I'll copy the zip file over to the Obsidian vault and paste it in. Extract the files. We'll need to rename this folder. Remove -main and leave just slides-studio. Now back in Obsidian, we can launch our slides in the browser, and we can see that we have local web browser or local web server running and displaying our page. Let's view the Slides Studio page by clicking index and copy relative path. Back in Chrome, we'll change the path and paste that in. And now this is the Slides Studio interface. The first field is the location of the deck that we'll want to present. The deck that we will present is the exported version of our note. So we'll go to the export and get the relative path for the index file and paste that in. We'll also need the origin of our file, of our server. So it'll look like http:// localhost :3000 /export /welcome /index.html. That will tell the page to retrieve the local files to present. The next step is to configure OBS by setting the port number and the password. before we can do that, we'll need to configure OBS. So let's open OBS. We'll need to add a scene collection. Slide Studio is designed to work with a specific scene collection, which was included in the zip file. Go to the scene collection, click Import, click the three dots. Then in the Slide Studio folder, find the OBS collection folder and then choose slides.com collection and click Import. Once the scene is imported, we'll need to switch to that scene. In the scene list, it will be called slides.com_collection. We'll click that. We'll see a camera placeholder. Here you will set your camera. For this demo, we'll just use the placeholder image. We'll also need to turn on the WebSocket server. So go to the tools, click WebSocket server details. Then you can set your port number and get your password, but most importantly, check enable WebSocket server for this tool to work. Click OK. Now we'll connect. And what we have in the studio view is a table of the slides and options for where the slides and camera will appear. Before we set those options, let's give a name to our configuration so we can come back to it later. But for the first slide, let's have that as over the shoulder. The camera will be full screen. There'll be no shape to the camera, and the scene will be slides over camera. For the second slide, we'll do side by side. The camera will be off center, and the scene will continue to be slides over camera. Lastly, we'll have the slides go to full screen, the camera go to the upper left, and let's make the camera an animated circle. And now we'll put the camera over the slides. Okay, if this works, we can click here and we can see that the slides appear over the camera's shoulder, then side by side, and the camera shifted over. And now the slides are full screen and the camera has a animated circle around it. And so we can navigate using the current slide or using the table by clicking on it. And we could also use keyboard shortcuts, but the Slide Studio browser page does need to be in focus for the keyboard commands to function. Okay, one more feature is a teleprompter. So in the upper right, you can click teleprompter. There's no notes in the slides right now, so there's nothing to see. Let's go back into Obsidian to add some notes. To add notes, you use the keyword capital notes followed by a colon. We'll say that these are the speaker notes. And let's copy that a few times. Okay, so now we have some notes. Let's render that out. Export, don't need to see it. Go back into this, Slide Studio, refresh. And we forgot to do that. Connect again. No notes on the first slide, but on the second slide there's notes. You can change the font size and change the speed that it scrolls. If this is going through a teleprompter, you can flip it around so it works correctly with your teleprompter, and you can use this to highlight. And this is a project that is linked in the description. You can also change it so it's only the notes and not the preview. And that's it.